Hello and welcome to the online section of Math 1460. This should be the first page that you see when you're getting started in CNM Learn. So I just want to go over a couple of the first things you'll want to do in the course. So this is the welcome page, not too much on it except for this welcome to the class. The first thing you'll probably want to do is click this Start Here module, and we'll just open that. This sort of gives you an overview of everything you need to get started in the course. Some of these things I'm just sort of going to skip through. This is a just quick explanation of online courses at CNM, a jumpstart course that you can actually sit in and roll in, watch. It's just online, watch a video, and it'll basically tell you how to get started in any online course. Um, Academic dishonesty, you can watch that video. It's pretty clear, I hope, what that is. Welcome message here. This is sort of a description of the course, what you can expect to learn in the course here as we go through the semester. Here's the syllabus. I'm just going to open that real quick and show a couple of things on the syllabus. Be sure and read this. This is our contract for the course, so you definitely want to read through and make sure you understand everything on here. Textbook. You don't actually need to buy the textbook if you don't want to have an actual physical copy of it. The entire ebook is available through MyMathLab, which we'll be using, so all you really need is the MyMathLab code here, the standalone access code right there. Um, Calculator, you're definitely going to want to have one of those. Graphing calculator preferred. It says here different graphing calculators may be used with instructor's permission. I'm fine with you if you use any of them except the TI-89 or any sort of symbolic manipulation calculator. You don't want to be using those. In fact, if you try to use them on the test, they won't let you do it. So definitely don't have a TI-89 or a TI-Nspire, one of those calculators. You can get the Student Solutions Manual if you want. CNM Learn, as we already saw, that's where we start. Blackboard IM, you definitely want to get that. Download that through Blackboard, through CNM Learn. Follow the instructions on how to do that. We're going to be using that for office hours, so you definitely want that. MyMathLab, that's where pretty much all of the work in the course is going to be done. As it says here, you will have an option for a 2-week grace period when you log in for the first time. So if you haven't bought anything yet, you don't have a code, you can still work in the course for the first 2 weeks. After that, you're definitely going to have to buy that code or you won't be able to access it anymore. Setting up MyMathLab, you can click on the Getting Started guide. It sort of shows you how to get started in MyMathLab. There's another guide that I'll point to later here. You can read about MyMathLab there. Attendance, really, since this is an online course, there is no actual physical attendance, but this is the policy for online attendance. You really need to get the first week assignments finished by the end of the first week. As it says here, you'll be dropped from the course if you don't, so be sure and get that done. And then after that, if you get more than a week behind, you'll be dropped from the course there. Bottom line, as it says here, keep up with the assignments. This is this is a real course, 3 hours. The way that I typically tell students for any course is that for every hour that they spend in the classroom, they should spend 2 to 3 hours outside of the classroom. Since there is no outside of the classroom here, this is a 3-hour course. That's 3 hours you should be spending right off the bat, plus another 2 to 3 hours for every hour that's there. So that translates into between 6 and 9 additional hours on top of the 3 that we are calling ourselves in class. So to summarize, you should be spending at least 9 to 12 hours working on this course in this semester every week. Okay, if you want to be successful, that's what you're going to have to do. The rest of this stuff you can just read through. That's withdrawal stuff, important dates. Again, in red here you see the warning. You definitely want to get that first module finished, first week's assignments finished by the end of that first week. Otherwise, you will be dropped from the course. The login to CNM Learn, read the syllabus. We're doing that right now. Click the MyMathLab within CNM Learn. We'll get to that in a minute here. Registration deadlines, disability statement, all that stuff. If the disability statement applies to you, of course, let me know and we'll take care of that. The coursework, we're going to be doing discussions. We'll have homework and quizzes within MyMathLab. Discussions is actually the only thing that's not going to be within MyMathLab. That's actually going to be on CNM Learn. So we'll be doing those pretty much every week except for the weeks that we have exams. So I'll go through that in a minute here as well. Homework and quizzes, this is all on MyMathLab. Just a quick word about that. The quizzes is what you'll actually do first. This is called a pre-homework quiz that you're going to do. Um, and this is what's called adaptive. That means if you do well on these pre-homework quizzes, that means your homework is going to be shorter. So it's definitely to your advantage to try to do well on these quizzes. As it says here, you'll have 3 attempts per problem, fewer attempts for the quizzes, more for the homework. You'll have access to all the help items on the quizzes except for the Ask My Teacher. My thinking there is that I really want you to try to learn this material on your own. If you do well on it, then that homework's going to be that much easier. If you don't do well on it, then you'll have to do a little bit more on the homework. But when you actually do get to the homework, then you'll have access to every help item, including the Ask My Teacher. That's when you can start asking me about it. But my thinking again is that I really want you guys to get going on the material on your own, see what you can learn through it, through all the help stuff, and try to do well on those quizzes. If you can't, if you don't do that well on the quiz, don't worry too much about it. It's only 10% of the grade, but you definitely want to try to do as well as you can on the quizzes, because as I said, better you do on the quizzes, the shorter that homework will actually be. There's going to be worksheets available. I'll show you where those are. They'll be on every module. They'll have video solutions to a bunch of example problems that I've done. And then the personal study plan, that is actually completely optional. It doesn't count towards your grade. I'll show you that in my math lab as well. Test reviews, there's going to be a practice exam for each exam. The practice exams are going to be pretty much exactly what you can expect to see on the actual exam. So be sure, and in fact you'll have to do them because it's linked. If you don't do the practice exam, you won't be able to open the exam. We'll count those practice tests as a homework assignment, so you definitely want to do that. Midterms, there's going to be 3 of them. These midterms, since this is a blended class, you have to take these midterms in a approved testing center. That will most likely be a CNM assessment center. Okay. If you do not live in Albuquerque, you'll need to let me know, and we'll have to arrange some other testing center for you to go to. This is a link to the assessment center. Just keep in mind that we will be following their hours, and I put the due dates for the exams to be 4:00 p.m. on a Saturday. The CNM assessment centers are closed on Sunday, and only the main campus one is open on Saturday, and it closes at 4:00. So that's when the test is due. That's when the exams are due. You'll definitely want to bring your ID. Once we get a little closer to the exams, I'll send out some reminder emails about how that's going to work. Final exam, same sort of thing as the regular exams. Grading policy, you can see here. The posts that you're going to be making every week after each module is finished. That's 10% of your grade. Definitely want to be doing that. It's actually probably the easiest 10% because all you're going to be saying there is what you didn't understand throughout the week. But that's worth 10%, and you'll be responding to some other students as well. Homework, that's a quarter of your grade, big chunk of your grade. As I said before, quizzes are only 10%, but you definitely want to try to do well on those. And I do have this set up so that you have to get at least 50% on that pre-homework quiz in order to move on to the homework. So you're going to have to get at least 50%. The midterms, 30%, 10% each. So that, again, that's a pretty big chunk of your grade right there. And of course, the final exam is the largest, 25% of your grade. And this is really important down here right below that. If it benefits your final grade, the lowest exam grade is going to be replaced by the average of the final exam grade and the lowest exam grade. So what that means basically, for example, suppose your lowest exam grade is a 50. Suppose you somehow manage to get 100% on the final. That's going to mean that 50% grade is going to be replaced by the average of the 50 and the 100. So you'll actually end up getting a 75 on that lowest exam grade instead of a 50. And again, it says here, only if it benefits you. That means if your final exam grade happens to be the lowest grade, you really don't want that. But if it happens, I'm not going to do anything to your grade at the end of the semester. Instructor response time, that's basically any way that you communicate with me, preferably through the Blackboard IM or Blackboard messages. You can also email me if you want to. My email's right there. I will do my best to respond within 24 hours during the week, Monday through Thursday, the normal school week. I will probably get back to you much faster than that, but 24 hours is the maximum that you can hopefully expect to wait. On the weekend, response times may be longer, up to 48 hours, and I say maybe. I'll still try to get back to you as soon as I can, but I'm going to push that up to 48 hours for that one. Um, if more time has gone by, again, try to contact me again just to make sure I got that message. Um, During actual office hours, which are at the top of the syllabus, be sure and look at those. I will answer much more quickly. If you want to come to my office for help there, you're welcome to do that. If you want to do virtual office hours, you're welcome to do that too. Just I'll be sitting at my desk, and with Blackboard IM, just send me a message and I'll reply as soon as I can. There, I'm going to have face-to-face students in my office as well. So it may be a little bit longer than immediately, but if there's nobody else around and you send me a message during office hours, I will get back to you immediately and we can talk about what questions you might have. So office hours, again, I'll actually just scroll up here at the top there. Here they are, Monday, Wednesday, 9:30 to 11, Tuesday, Thursday, 11:30 to 12:30. During those hours, you can expect a really fast response to any of your questions. Okay, coming back down here, grades. I'm going to keep all the grades on CNM Learn. It says and on MyMathLab here. I'm actually not going to do that. Grades will be completely kept on CNM Learn. That's the way we need to do it at CNM here. So I'll keep that as up to date as possible. That means within 24 hours of a due date, everything should be updated. You will see some grades in MyMathLab, just don't pay any attention to those. Those are not your official grades. The official grades are what's going to happen on CNM Learn. Everything else, really the only thing besides the MyMathLab stuff is going to be these Muddiest Point posts. Give me 3 days to get those graded. And those Muddiest Point posts are going to be due sort of pretty much at the end of each module. So you can expect that at the beginning of the following week, you can see the grades for the Muddiest Point posts. There's announcements. I'll be posting those on CNM Learn as well, and then the Netiquette policy you can look at here. Finally, we have the course schedule. For a normal 15-week semester like we have here, each module pretty much corresponds to a week. So module 1 is week 1, module 2 is week 2, etc. The reason we actually do this is modules for whenever we have this course offered in 7-week semester or sometimes 12-week, then we'll have the modules be different than the weeks. But for you guys, modules are weeks. So anyway, that's the syllabus. Let's go back to Blackboard, and we'll move on to the next item here. All right, so course structure. You can read through this. I'm just going to sort of quickly summarize what this says. Most of the course we're going to be working in MyMathLab. Read the material, watch the lecture videos, do a pre-homework quiz, and then do a homework assignment. That's a typical week. The exceptions to that are going to be whenever we have exams. Additionally, whenever we have a new chapter, we're going to have a skills check quiz and a skills check homework. Basically, the idea here is these skills checks are for just to make sure that you have the appropriate knowledge for the material that's coming up for the module. So you'll have to complete these each time we start a new chapter. It's basically just kind of algebra checkup to make sure that you remember your algebra that you're going to need for the calculus in each module. And then it says here, in certain weeks we're going to have exams, and then we'll have a practice exam. So whenever those weeks come up, that will actually be the only thing that you'll be doing in that week. You'll take the practice exam, and then you'll take the exam. And again, for the exams, you have to take those in an assessment center. We've got extra help. I'll show you once we get to some of these modules. I'll show you what that help is. But for the most part, we've got a worksheet. Some Khan Academy videos or other websites that I've found that seem pretty helpful for the material that we happen to be covering. Online office hours, I've already mentioned those from the syllabus. Grades, again, I've already mentioned that will be kept on CNM Learn. You can check it by looking at the My Grades link over here on the side. Descriptions of each learning module available in each module, so we'll get to that in a minute here. The next item in our Start Here module, basically the rest of this stuff is just sort of describing things that you need to take an online course. For example, here, these are all sort of useful things for you. You've got an achievement coach available, academic dishonesty link, this is all sort of just helpful stuff for you. This BrainFused free online tutoring, that might be useful for you. It's free and it's online, so this is an online class, so you might want to check that out. There's the ACE Tutoring Center, and they are actually just this semester starting on doing virtual tutoring. So check their website and look around for the virtual tutoring. It's on there. That will be helpful for you guys in the online course. And that's CNM employees doing that. This BrainFuse is a separate company. This is not for us. We don't care about virtual writing because it's a math class. Library research, again, we don't really need that. Technical skills, basically, like I said, all the rest of this stuff is sort of just telling you what you need. This is browsers you need, Firefox and Chrome. I would recommend Chrome for what we're doing in this class for my math lab. Let's see, Office 365, you can get that. You can actually get a free license as a CNM student to do this, so if you want to do that, that might be useful for you. My Math Lab, the Getting Started Guide, you can click that here. I think I'll come back to that. YouTube, just technology requirements, and then you got to have the Adobe Flash and Adobe Reader. And then the next one just sort of describes Collaborate Ultra and Blackboard IM. We're mostly going to be using Blackboard IM, but Collaborate Ultra is a sort of more robust online tutoring program. It's got a whiteboard, and we can actually talk to each other if we need to do that, and it's even got video if you need that. So if you want to do a Collaborate Ultra session, we can arrange that in Blackboard IM. And student help, if you need help with your Blackboard stuff, this is where you'd want to go for that. Netiquette policy, again, that was also on the syllabus. Just read through that, make sure you understand that. Basically it just says be respectful to the other people in the class when you're making your posts. All the ADA statements that you need for both Blackboard and My Math Lab, privacy policy, and the next steps would be to go to the learning modules. So I want to just do that real quick. Let's just take a look at one of these modules to get an idea of what you're going to be looking at. The first assignment you'll have is a post in CNM Learn in the discussion board. You just click that to launch it. You're just going to create a thread, tell everyone your name, your major, and then what math courses have you taken, do you feel confident in your mathematic abilities, why or why not, and then respond to 2 other posts. So that'll be the first assignment that you'll want to do for this semester. After you're done with that, this is just going to give an overview. This is pretty much what you can expect for all the modules. They'll all be very similar to this except for the exam ones. So basically it'll just tell us what we're going to study, the objectives we want, and then how they sort of mesh with the course outcomes that we're looking for there. Then we'll go to what you want to do. You can click on this module agenda. That will sort of show you everything that you're going to want to do for that particular module. Come back here. This is telling us how much each assignment is worth towards your overall grade, right? So as you can see, most of these assignments are pretty low as far as the overall contribution to your grade. The first week is going to count as about 4% of your overall grade. You definitely don't want to be ignoring these, even though it's only 0.1%. You definitely want to do everything you can, and just keep in mind there's 15 weeks here, so add all these up. They add up pretty quick. And just so you're aware, all of the homework assignments are tied to the quizzes, meaning that you must get a 50% on every quiz in order to move on to any of the homeworks, and that goes for any quiz and any homework combination. And further, the reading and lecture videos are prerequisites for doing the quiz. So basically you got to go in order. You have to start with, for example, 3.1, you got to do the lecture video first, then you got to do the quiz, then you got to do the homework. It won't actually even let you do it until you get a 50% on each one, moving on to the next one. The reading and lecture videos, these are just sort of telling you what to read and what to watch. As soon as you actually open them, it will give you credit for it. Of course, I really want you to read them and watch them, but you will get credit as soon as they're opened. Okay, and then once you do all of the assignments, once you're finished with all the assignments, then you make your muddiest point post. And you can see that actually that ends up being the highest for each week, the highest contribution towards your grade. Mainly because there's not very many of them, and you only do them once a week. Okay, and then the next thing you'll see on here is all of the help that you need for a particular section. So for example, this video here is actually the same video that you're going to be doing, reading in your actual assignment that we just were talking about. You got this worksheet. These are worksheets that I've made for the face-to-face version, and then I added video solutions for the online version. So I'll just click one so you can see what it looks like. So basically it's kind of just a summary. This is what I would hand out in the face-to-face version of the course. And then for each of these example questions, I've made a little video, so you can actually click on that video and it'll take you to the YouTube, and then it will actually answer that particular question. And there's me answering the question on C&M Glass. So every single question on here has got a video solution associated with it. So I hope that this will help you to practice the work. That was my intention here. Okay, so we'll go back to this, and then as I said, there's Khan Academy and other websites that I just thought might be useful, so you're welcome to use any and all of these that you want to. There's a PowerPoint presentation that basically just came straight from the publisher if you want to take a look at that. And then again, just pointing out C&M's ACE tutoring services. They do virtual tutoring, so that means ideally you can call them up and then they'll hook you up with a virtual tutor. I think that they do it via Skype, so you'll probably have to get Skype to make that work. Anyway, for more information, just click this link. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get into that virtual tutoring. Or you can just go to any of the tutoring centers on any of the campuses. Here's your MyMathLab assignments. This basically just tells you kind of what you want to do to finish the module. And then once you're done with that, once you click on this next one, it says go to the next page to access the assignments. This is what's going to take you to MyMathLab. As soon as you click this, it's going to take you right into MyMathLab. This is really the only way you're going to get into MyMathLab. I really want everybody to kind of go through the help stuff before they start doing the assignments. But anyway, this is how you get into it. So this is what you'll see. Since I'm making this recording the day before class starts, it's not showing anything, but it says no assignments available. But starting tomorrow when class actually begins, this is what you'll see. All of these assignments will become available, and you can just go through and do them in order. And just a couple things about MyMathLab here. What I would really strongly recommend is that first thing you do, welcome to MyMathLab. How do you enter answers? This is kind of a little quiz that it's not worth any credit. It just sort of tells you how you can how you enter answers into MyMathLab, and maybe want to run the browser check too to make sure that you're going to see everything. So strongly recommend do that before you do any of the assignments. Okay. This will actually take you to the assignments when you click on that. Again, there's nothing available since this is the day before class starts. Here's that study plan I was talking about. Again, this is not for credit. This is just sort of extra stuff that you can do, practice. And once you've practiced enough and you think you're ready, you can quiz. Any assignment that you actually do in the course will update this. So basically that means if you've done pretty well on these quizzes are going to be pretty short. Anyway, again, this is not for credit. This is just for you to master the material. This gradebook, you're not going to see that. Anything that's got a cross through it here, you're not going to see it. I'm only seeing it. As I said, the gradebook will be kept on C&M Learn, so don't worry about your grades on here. Chapter contents, if you want to look at this will take you directly to any of the sections in the book. This is the ebook that I was talking about, although this e-text here is only going to be a PDF version of it. It doesn't have any of the interactive stuff, but if you want to use that, you're welcome to. Tools for Success, this is pretty useful as well. There's a study card, interactive stuff. Basically, this is just kind of extra help for you if you want to look through it. This is really where you're going to access the ebook here, the multimedia library. So in order to access your book, you're going to go here to Multimedia Textbook, select the chapter that you're interested in. We're going to start with chapter 3, and then you just click Find Now, and then there's the sections straight from the book. So you click on one of them, it opens the ebook, and then you can read through the ebook. Another way to get to them is when the assignments actually do appear. When you click on that, the reading assignment, it will just take you directly to the section in the book that you're working on. A couple things about the book, just so everybody's aware. If you want to change pages, this is not quite clear, but this is how you do it. Over here on the right, next page, click that. I'll take you to the next page. And then there's videos and stuff that are within the ebook that you can use to help you out. And then if you want to go to a different chapter, you just go over here Okay, so there's your ebook. Purchase options, you will see something different here. This will be where you actually pay. But as I said, that you have a 2-week grace period. So if you've already bought the code, this will be where you'd enter your the code that you purchased. That'll give you access to the whole semester. Course tools. This is not too much. Just perhaps a little bit useful if you want to use any of these things here, but I don't imagine most people will be using those. Really, this is where you'd find the transcripts of the videos as well, if anybody needs those. Okay, so that's the MyMathLab part of the course. Come back to here. And then finally, the last thing that you want to do in a week, the muddiest point posts. So I hope that's going to help you get started in the course. I'll probably be making more of these videos as we go along, and eventually I'm going to start doing the frequently asked questions forum. I'll put those probably somewhere over here once we get going. Keep in mind, this is actually the first time this course is being offered online. Everything that I've made here and all these modules and everything here, it's the first time it's being used, so bear with me. If there's any problems at all, just tell me immediately and I'll try to get them fixed. This is the inaugural run of the course, so I hope everything goes well. We're going to try our best, but again, if there's any problems, just let me know right away and I'll try to get them fixed. Okay, well, good luck in the course.